Hey, welcome to another art chat where I will be discussing some things artists need to stop doing. During this talk, you'll be watching a time lapse of a portrait on that easel over there. Long story short, I miss painting portraits, and I've been wanting to experiment with mixing portraits and the abstracts that I've been recently creating. So, hope you enjoy it. Now, let's talk about artists. Artists are creatures of habits. They empathize with the world, they overthink, they look for inspiration, and strive to inspire with what they create. But artists, just like anyone else, can fall into some bad habits, unhealthy mindsets, and these things can definitely hinder us from a creative flow, from seeing inspiration, and overall, they can just make us feel meh. Before we start, if you're an artist and do the things that I'll be talking about in this video, I encourage you to stop doing these things. But just keep in mind, I'm only here to share things based off my own experiences and what I've learned and observed as both an artist and an educator. So I may say things that just don't vibe with you, and that's totally chill. In the end, you do you and enjoy that journey that you're on. I hope the things I share can still be helpful to you in some way, whether it be learning something new or refreshing something previously learned. So let's begin. Number 1, stop letting labels define you. Labels can honestly suck. They can make you feel trapped, and it doesn't feel good to be boxed into something. For example, there will be some artists on social media whose description or even name says something like abstract artist, realism painter, landscape artist, etc. For some people, it's not as harsh, for lack of a better word, but for many, it's like once you label yourself, you feel stuck with this. A lot of the times, artists also feel the need to label themselves to make their own marketing easier, to help gain a specific audience, to help galleries understand their niche. Social media especially loves consistency and repetition, so much so that we can now use reel templates that specifically work for our art reels. It's already made for us and for the box that we've put ourselves in. But listen, you don't have to be stuck. In fact, whether you feel stuck or not, try out a different medium. Try painting cats, even if you only paint dogs. If you're an abstract painter, try mixing something up and adding a more realistic subject to your abstract, which, yeah, it can be defined as abstract realism, which would be another label. But just because you may define yourself as one thing doesn't mean you have to be stuck with it. Now, before you get at me, yes, labels can be really helpful for people to define experiences, emotions, thoughts, feelings. I acknowledge that 100% and also just encourage people to not let themselves feel like they're just this one thing. All humans grow, change, and evolve, and so will our art. David Bowie, for crying out loud, who, yes, I may be slightly obsessed with, how many songs did this human create? And not every song sounded the same or were even specifically in the same genre of music. Bowie's music evolved as he evolved. The same can go for authors and genres, photographers and subjects. Overall, don't let labels stop you from experimenting. Number 2, stop using Pinterest for reference photos. Honestly, it's just become so unoriginal. As someone who's been using Pinterest for more than 10 years, I've definitely seen some repeated references used by artists on social media. I was once also an artist who depended on Pinterest for references until I saw the same portraits or subjects created by other artists. And that's because we found it in the same place. It's kind of a bummer because artists will make money off the same models or references without any credit to the original creator or photographer, specifically when the art is literally just like the copyrighted photo. Disclaimer: it is absolutely okay to use Pinterest in your practice, or to use photos as a reference to create something that looks nothing like the original. Just don't copy it to the T and sell it. Pinterest is a great way for artists to gather inspiration and ideas and to keep it all in one place and organize it the way you want. Yes, there's nothing new under the sun, but why not still try to be more original and make your own references? I'm not suggesting you only create from imagination, which, yes, you totally can and should try, but I am suggesting you create your own references or find other places that allow you to use their images for free without any copyrights. Pexels, Canva, Shutterstock are great alternatives, to name a few. Also, because a lot of people are not as familiar with these options or may not use these options as much, you have a higher chance of standing out more. Another option is to take your own photos. If you're painting humans, have a photo shoot with yourself or your friends. If you're painting clouds, go outside, etc., etc. Number 3, stop thinking you don't need to take lessons. In other words, you may feel like you don't need to learn from other artists, or you don't need to learn in general. Honestly, if you're watching this video, then congrats. You're already probably not thinking this and are ready and willing and excited to learn more about art and yourself as an artist. You don't have to go on Skillshare and you don't have to break the bank. YouTube, tutorial hashtags on Instagram, local events, free gallery art, Q&As, Twitch streamers, books, etc. There are so many great, free, and inexpensive ways to expand your creative knowledge. If you're an artist, you're a student, and you will never stop learning, even when you think you're not learning or don't need to learn anymore. When you learn new things or hear other artists talk about their experiences, your brain gets excited and may want to do the same thing or get inspired to create something new. If you think you know everything, your art will never grow. So if you finish this video, gold stars for you, and also thank you. I appreciate it. Number 4, stop calling yourself a starving artist. Because, put simply, words have power. If you're dying to make art full time or wanting people to buy your art so you can at least pay for supplies, guess what? You probably know what I'm going to say. It never happens overnight. And if it does, it's very rare. My first tip is to stop thinking you need to have it all. Use what you got and just do. Buy the art kits from Michael's, search on Facebook Marketplace or local used stores to find affordable art supplies. Trust me, although having high quality supplies is like living the art dream and can make your art look higher quality, it doesn't mean you can't be an artist without it. Keep at it and stop calling yourself poor or starving. I'm a firm believer that as creative humans, the words we use to describe ourselves have so much power. Because you know what? Artists are rich. Cheesy moment approaching, but artists are rich in ideas, creativity, rich in powerful thoughts and perspectives that can help people see the world differently. Artists are powerful people. You have so much power, and being an artist today is not easy. Was it ever? Are we underpaid and undervalued? All the time. But we keep going, and we have the determination that not only helps us get to where we want to be, but also inspires others to do the same. I do really wish I had the true answer to your starving artist problem, but I do believe, as someone who has also struggled with this, that using more powerful words to describe ourselves is an important step forward. And last but not least, number 5, stop thinking burnout is normal and working under pressure leads to the best result. It's not. It's hurtful, and it affects your art. I'm definitely a survivor, I guess, of the millennial hustle culture, but it still hurt me in so many ways. It was hard to be productive in the way I wanted to be. I wasn't creating the art that represented my voice, but instead was creating art for others, and there's never fulfillment in that. When I got diagnosed in 2021 with a chronic condition that greatly impacts my productivity, I had to learn how to be kind to myself. Before I was diagnosed, I would go so hard on myself and hate how I couldn't create the exact image that was in my mind, or that I never had the energy to paint 40 hours a week. I was mentally punishing myself to the point that burnout was a normal thing, and the only process artists had to go through in order to achieve artistic greatness, right? No, it's not normal. Think of it as a relationship. Sometimes you need space. Sometimes you need more love. Sometimes you need boundaries. Give yourself space from creating, and also give yourself space devoted to creating. Not letting yourself take breaks is also just not productive. So drink water. Listen to your body. It's not the end of the world if you need a break. And please don't let social media make you feel like you work for it. And take a break from posting your art. You can, because you and your creativity are more important than a stupid app. So yeah, those are 5 things I think artists need to stop doing. Honestly, the list can go on and on. So feel free to share in the comments and click like if you related to something. Honestly, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts or even what you may think other artists need to stop doing. In the meantime, go create something new and different and amazing, and I hope to see you again in the next video.